Hi, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Mike.
And I'm Andrea.
And
we are not
not
saints.
But we sure want to be.
We're trying.
Yeah, we are. Anyway, here we are today, and I am going to start with just an interesting conversation that happened last week. I was with a very dear friend who during dinner said, I don't believe in hell, and everyone goes to heaven. And I was like, okay, can we talk just a little bit about that a little bit more? And she said, well, in the bookstore, I spent a lot of time reading NDEs, near-death experiences, and every book I read, everyone went to heaven. And I went, okay. So I went home that night, and I really just thought about it and prayed about it and remembered St. Faustina talking about hell and how she went to hell, and she wrote about it in one of her visions. And then I started looking up near-death experiences of people who went to hell and talked about purgatory. And I thought, you know what? I think I want to tackle this. I think as a group, we need to look into Saint Gertrude the Great. And Saint Gertrude the Great was an amazing mystic, and we will unfold her life today. But what is also interesting, in our little small church that we love, we say 4 prayers every day after Mass. And one of them is the prayer of Gertrude the Great. And I never realized how powerful it was until now, today, after we've been studying Gertrude the Great. So I want to read this prayer for you. One day, hopefully it'll be memorized, but probably not, because I'm not good at memorization anymore. But anyway, Eternal Father, I offer you the most precious blood of your divine Son, Jesus, in union with the Masses said throughout the world today, for all the holy souls in purgatory, for sinners everywhere, for sinners in the universal church, those in my own home and within my family. Amen. It's a powerful, powerful prayer. And I just thought it would be kind of fun to tackle St. Gertrude today. So here we go.
Well, the prayer comes up whenever we talk about her story, and I found it awesome. She's the only woman saint with the title, to be given the title, the Great.
Right.
Pope Clement VII gave St. Gertrude that title in 1738, but that was long after her death. She was born in Germany in 1256, and I think she was orphaned, or
They really don't know.
yeah, there was nothing about
At
her family.
5 years old, she was
Yeah.
left at the monastery.
Right, and so she's placed under the care of the Benedictine nuns, and she received education under them.
Right.
Interesting fact about that she went at age 5. I first read that. I thought it was probably because she was an orphan, but it wasn't. They say that more than likely she came from a wealthy family, and they sent her there for the educational purpose because in those times, girls especially did not get very high educations, and it was an opportunity for her to get very good education, which she did. I mean, she was a very smart
Woman.
Yeah.
Exactly, she was.
and that's
And was
part
it-
of which made her great, which, I wasn't. I thought it was a Tony the Tiger thing, but apparently it was because of her mystical abilities, and she was profound in theological insight and influential writing,
Right.
which is what made her great. It wasn't.
She was a wonderful writer, and she did have conversations with Jesus.
Right, yeah, those were the mystical occurrences. And so when she's 5, up until 25, she's not really, she's learning. She's definitely a scholar, but it was said in the timeline of her life and in the different, I guess, biographies that I listened to or read about, that she went through this conversion. And was it Matilda, the woman that she learned under, or
Yeah.
Mechtild? I mean, it was in
Yes,
German.
it was a different pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
You know what I found interesting too, and I don't know if you saw this or you did, but when I was reading about her, she was really a scholar. She wanted to be the best. So when she was writing the best. When she was reading, and she wanted to be the best, the best, the best. And before her conversion, she realized that she was not humble, Right? Did you
She
read
went
that?
through depression, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't read that, but I read that she was such a perfectionist that she realized that was not being humble. And so that she had to let go of being the best, being perfect.
Yeah.
And that was when she let that go and became more humble, she had the visions with Christ. But I didn't see the depression part. But
I thought
I don't think it was depression. She was more very critical of other people when they weren't faithful.
Yeah.
And she was very vocal about it. And a lot of the other nuns didn't like her at some point because she was outspoken
and
about
I think
it.
it was in her like young teenage years
Yeah.
where she was rebellious.
Right. And then by the time she reaches age 25, so 1281, she's receiving these visions of Christ. And that's what transformed her from scholar to mystic. And being a mystic in the Catholic faith, you're having those direct experiential encounters with God. So it's kind of interesting how she comes to that. And it's at those moments of doubt of, okay, am I on the right track? And then she's gifted this experience with God.
Right.
And are these people on the right? She's being judgy and hard
Right.
on everybody. So a saint could be any of us, because we all have those feelings sometimes of, judgment on others or too harsh on ourselves. I actually like hearing the imperfections of the saints' stories because it's giving us that hope for ourselves.
Exactly.
That's the free will.
Yeah.
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 So from 1281 to 1301, she's having visions and writings. She's totally devoted to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, which she's now encountered. And I wanted to talk a little bit about divine love because it's throughout her story, she's experiencing God's divine love.
Right.
So God is love. It's a self-giving and endless love that you experience and is transformative. It purifies the soul without extinguishing it, or it burns, but it doesn't destroy.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that's really interesting. And how can we apply divine love in our own lives? Is there anybody that or are we only supposed to feel that way for God, or are we
We're
supposed
supposed to feel it for everybody.
for everybody? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And
Live in love.
yeah. And that's what we're trying to do here and just in our lives. It's not easy all the time, but wow, how great would it be to achieve divine love for everybody?
Amen. I totally agree. That's, I think, my goal.
And when you talk about the transformative nature of it purifying but not destroying, so burning but not destroying it, that kind of sets us into what purgatory is. And I found it really interesting while reading about Saint Gertrude. And during that time, 1281 to 1301, when she's having the visions and she's writing, the prayers for the souls in purgatory comes out, which is the prayer that you just recited for us. So what was it about that? Every time you say that prayer with faith and you're fully believing
And
in
love.
it.
And love. You have to have that divine love.
And
that
so,
love.
so maybe now that we know how important it is, so every time you say that prayer, how many souls? 1,000 get released.
Yes.
But you have to mean it. So
You have to believe it. So now I wonder if all the times I've been saying it, which it is powerful.
Yeah.
Right.
But now I get it.
Yes.
Do you know?
Have we been on autopilot this whole time?
Yes. And how she talks about seeing purgatory and that when she was able to see it and see the prayer, that they were like lights flying up to heaven with angels on either side. It sounded so beautiful.
Yeah.
And that we definitely, and that the souls in purgatory are praying for us, but they cannot pray for themselves.
Right.
They can only pray for us. So, and I'm getting goosebumps all over.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bumps. But so that for me, especially having lost my son, I have to believe that we can pray him to heaven. And all of our loved ones, right?
And so I want to know if other people have known what this prayer is doing, or maybe it's just us, like us newbies over here. Like, did we not know? Are we the only ones? But purgatory is also a state of purification. It's supposed to be painful. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. And we know this through Saint Gertrude.
Super painful.
No, but it's, I read a really interesting take on purgatory.
Okay.
It's like a detox clinic for sinners. So you think of going to rehab. It's like
that.
not glamorous, not fun. Like, I don't think. And so you're at the detox clinic.
I like it.
It's not going to be like super fine dining or a party.
Yeah.
Probably no alcohol, no wine. Exactly. I go back to that box of wine.
Yeah, it is true.
But these souls are in grace, but they still have they're still in need of cleansing.
Right.
So that, I think, if you're imagining purgatory, but we know this because of her visions,
Right,
and the mysticism that she was able to achieve. And I also wondered if, this kind of ties into another saint, Saint Teresa of Avila, talking about going through the 7 mansions. Like, most of us are on stage 1 or 2 where we're praying, we believe in God, and then stage 3 where you're getting more and more devoted. But then in like the 4th mansion through the 7th mansion, you start to have those visions and the actual encounters with God. Mm-hmm. So she's obviously reaching these heights, and she's Saint Gertrude the Great. So she's doing great things.
Yes, she is.
But she also talked about what hell is like and what heaven is like. And hell sounds dreadful.
It does.
You had talked in the beginning about your friend that didn't believe there was a hell. Mm-hmm. If you read the book called Struck by Lightning, and I can't remember the author, but if you look up a book titled Struck by Lightning and read that,
we might need a fact check on that. A little
you will believe.
I forgot about that book.
It's scary.
Did we leave that? Did we give that to somebody? We don't have to say who, but I think we gave it to somebody.
I think so, but I read it. It took me a while to read it because I could only read, like 4 or 5 pages, and then you have to just sit and think about it. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a good book.
I forgot completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And experiencing these things with like the reality that she probably did similarly in that book. So in Struck by Lightning, they go to heaven, or did they go to hell?
She Goes to Hell is about a woman that gets struck by lightning and is basically dead, and she does go to hell. And she has to reaccount her life because she was a Catholic. She believed in God. She thought she was doing the right thing. But most of her life, she had material things were more important to her. Her looks, her clothing, money, everything she'd put in front of God. Although, she went to Mass every week, she really wasn't. In her heart, did not believe that God was the power. She just was more interested in
doing her obligation.
She did plastic surgery on herself and stuff that was part of what happened when she got struck by lightning. Her body was severely damaged, and the things that she had surgically repaired or enhanced were removed. Mm-hmm. So, but in the end, her parents came at the top of a stairway, and she met them halfway, and she ended up in heaven talking to Jesus, and then she came back to life and was healed. She completely was restored.
And thus wrote her book.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to look that book up in the title. That was good memory.
Yeah, it was a powerful book. It's been 2 years ago, but I still remember a lot of the detail about it. It stuck with me.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And Saint Gertrude also published she wrote Herald of Divine Love, if you want to learn more about
And
Saint
apparently she
Gertrude's
wrote a lot of
writings.
books, but a lot got lost.
Yeah.
But that one still remains, yeah.
Yes, she had a lot of writings. And the great thing about, hearing about those experiences with struck by lightning and some of these other experiences where people have had visions like that.
Yep.
It just kind of confirms, there are people out there who go through these intense moments of that mysticism and they reach that, I guess,
that's
new
my
level.
goal. Don't you want to get there if we can?
Yeah. I just, only if I'm going one way. I don't want to go down.
I'm just talking about having a conversation with Jesus and we could feel that.
To be a mystic, yeah.
That mysticism. Yeah.
Well, even the Eternal Father prayer, Gertrude wrote it in her transcripts, but Jesus is the one that told her to write it, and
Right.
he even said, you won't be accepted into heaven until you put this all in writing, basically.
Yeah.
So, and that's what she did. All of her writings came directly from her conversations with Jesus.
Right.
Right.
Again, it's just so, I love reading about people's experiences with Jesus and how, again, if we could all just get to that quiet space where we could just listen and what we could hear or feel. I kind of feel things,
Yeah.
right? It just reminds us, was a powerful saint to
Right.
me.
Mm-hmm.
She really, really struck me. And I'm anxious to learn more about her, and maybe I will order that book.
Yeah. Well, and I want to read that Struck by Lightning book too. I think I read a couple of pages. But
If you would have started it, you wouldn't have been able to put it down, 'cause it was a very powerful book.
yeah. It was given. Well,
Yeah, I know. I remember where it went. It was passed along. We gave it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good.
anyway, but also with Saint Gertrude's writings too. And,
Right.
and all of the saints that we're learning about. It's really interesting to hear their take on just different facets of faith and how to get closer to God.
Yep.
That's the ultimate goal, to be in union with God for all of these stories.
And having that love
Yeah.
that we hear about from every saint that we read about. That divine love is so amazing. I
Yeah.
think, at least for me with my writing and with doing the podcast and stuff,
Yeah.
and I think I'm speaking for all of us, that we just want everyone to feel that love that we feel inside that is so powerful and so maybe rewarding. I
Right.
don't know. There's so much suffering. I mean, so much suffering, but that with love, we can get through it.
Yeah. And reach that eternal joy that
Right.
is in heaven, as described by Saint Gertrude and some of the other saints too. But in Mass, whenever we're supposed to quietly say our own intentions, I have always prayed for the same two things, because I do think once people achieve or feel true love and true happiness, that they're not going to hurt each other as much. I don't know. It's just a belief that I have. But
Yeah.
I've always prayed in that little moment, I pray for true love and true happiness, that everybody can achieve true love and true happiness at least once in their life. And that's what I say every single time since high school. And
That's lovely.
I think it's really important, though, for people to feel that, and especially feeling the divine love that God offers and Jesus offers, so that you feel it and it gives you hope. I always say that about hope and everything, but
And you live it.
yeah,
And life's not easy. Believe me. We all have a
yeah.
bad side.
I think anyone would
Especially
What?
me
would have a
sometimes.
different they would have a different takeaway for each of these saints, and a lot of times for me it's hope. For you talk about love and living in love, so this is a perfect saint for that. And yeah, I just hope that everybody can experience that.
Right. And everybody needs to know, none of us are perfect. That's why God did give us free will. And we are going to be anxious. We are going to be fearful. We're going to be
Jealous,
mad, jealous,
envious, all those
But we just
bad
have to,
things.
when we feel, as I said, that ugliness coming in,
Yeah.
we need to turn it and give it to God, right?
And being okay with letting go of earthly things. That's another consistent
That's
theme in all of these
huge.
stories. And in the sermon this past weekend, one of the ones that I listened to, our pastor does 3 every weekend. But I listened to him talk about a story of a man who died in this place that it wasn't a true story. It's like a tale, but he died in the place that he was raised and where he experienced a lot of his upbringing and had a lot of childhood experiences and adolescent experiences. and he wanted to die on the land that he was raised and where he had these experiences. And so they brought him out, and they laid him on the land, and he grabbed a chunk of the land and he held it to his heart as he died. And that's the epitome of not letting go of your earthly treasures and things that you hold on to. And when he died, he woke up in purgatory because he couldn't let go. So when you're in purgatory, you're learning some of the things that you refuse to learn while on earth. Mm-hmm. So try to go through those hard lessons and feel that pain and that uncomfortability while you're here, so that you might shave a couple of years off of your time at the detox clinic later. But letting go of earthly treasures is another consistent theme throughout all of these, and it ties into purgatory in that way. So pay attention. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to what you're doing.
Exactly. It is definitely...
I bet Marie Kondo is probably going straight to heaven. She's teaching people how to let go of stuff all the time. Don't you think?
Oh, my goodness.
Is that bad to say?
No. No, it isn't.
I'm glad you said it, not me.
Well, what is her thing? It's like the power of giving up whatever. I don't know. If you're holding it and it brings you joy, you keep it. And then if it doesn't, you got to let it go.
Let it go.
Just be okay with letting everything go.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Mm-hmm. Not to be attached. We're working on it. We're working every day, right?
Yeah. And to have sympathy for those souls who might not have been able to do those things, there's this prayer that you can say for them, and then that might help release some souls from purgatory. We also had pulled up another passage from the Bible in 2 Maccabees 12:45 that encourages us to pray for the dead. So this is the earliest statement of the doctrine that prayers and sacrifices for the dead are effective and will help release them from purgatory or from their suffering. So this is in 2 Maccabees 12:44
through
46. For if he were not expecting the fallen to rise again, it would have been superfluous and foolish to pray for the dead. But if he did this with a view to the splendid reward that awaits those who had gone to rest in godliness, it was a holy and pious thought. Thus, he made atonement for the dead that they may be absolved from their sin. And in the notes, this is my note-taking Bible. In the notes, it says, Judas probably intended his purification offering to ward off punishment from the living. But the author uses the story to demonstrate the belief in the resurrection of the just and in the possibility of expulsion of their sins for otherwise good people who have died. It's similar but not the same as the Catholic doctrine of purgatory, but still trying to relieve those souls from punishment for their sins or from extensive punishment from their sins. So pray for the dead.
Yes.
At the end of the day, that's the scoop.
Pray for those souls in purgatory.
Yeah.
And again, anything else you want to add to our conversation?
I was just thinking of what Andrea had said. She prays, and you, when you do your Eternal Father prayer, you're thinking of your own loved ones. But if you break down what the prayer actually says, because in union with masses throughout the world, there's basically a mass going on 24/7 because of the time changes and what have you. And it says for all souls in purgatory, not specific souls. Right. So the souls in purgatory are getting prayed to go to heaven 24/7.
Yeah.
If you break it down to the details of what it actually says. Right. So that gives you a little bit of, makes you feel good that somebody's always praying for all the loved ones.
Right. And that we're always praying for sinners. Sinners everywhere.
Even sinners, yeah.
And sometimes they'll come and thank you. In Saint Gertrude's vision, she said that some of the souls came and thanked her, or they offered her a smile, or she felt their spirit. So I hope that they can come and thank us, or at least say a few prayers once you get to the other side.
Well, they're praying for us too in purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
Right.
can't pray for themselves.
They cannot pay for
This
themselves.
Eternal Father prayer is said in every Mass throughout the world.
Yeah.
So it is.
Well, we say it. We say it up in Culver, but we don't say it. There have been some churches we don't say it, and we just say it in Culver.
Yeah.
But we say it. I mean, now that little card I'm taking everywhere, and I'm going to start saying it every time I go to Mass. For sure. For sure. Just winding down and just saying this really is, it's been a joy. It is a joy for us to learn as much as we can from the saints to make us better people too, right? Because we truly do.
And just better at Mass.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm learning something new every day. I go to Mass and I'm like, oh, wait, that's why I say that. Okay. Because confirmation class was so long ago. And then it's like, oh, now I got to remind myself what I'm doing.
It's easy to just go through the motions of going to church. You're just there for the hour.
Yeah.
But to actually feel it in your heart is a different.
Yeah.
The
It's
difference.
And to be participatory.
Yeah, and it's always made me feel good to go to church. And even when I was exploring other religions, I've always felt good being in church.
Right.
But it's even better when you're totally focused and you get rid of all the distractions and you know the purpose of everything that you're saying. That's why I wanted to define divine love and mysticism, because those were questions for me, like, oh, wait, what does that mean exactly? Or mysticism, how do you reach that?
Right.
So breaking these things down, including the prayers that we say in Mass, are really important for us to actually be present at Mass.
And to understand.
And understand. What
Exactly.
am I doing? Who am I?
Exactly.
I don't know.
And like I love that she said, we've all gone at this table. We have gone to many different services,
Yes.
many different faiths, and gotten good from all of them. I mean, there's no, we just being Catholic.
Then we landed on Catholicism.
Yeah.
And you might too. Yeah. Call a Catholic near you. I'm just kidding.
Thank you guys so much for joining us and sticking with us, I hope. And we will see you again soon.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Peace out.
We're not saints. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of We're Not Saints. For more of the We're Not Saints shenanigans and behind-the-scenes content, you can follow us on Instagram at We're Not Saints 1. That's We're Not Saints 1, without the apostrophe. And be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. We'd also love to hear from you. So leave us a comment or a review, or contact us by email at we'renotsaints1@gmail.com.
And if you'd like to have a great companion to your weekly saint studies with us, you can purchase a copy of my books. Are You There, Mary? How to Resurrect in Love After Loss, or Finding Love in the Confessional on Amazon, available as a Kindle version or paperback.
All these links will be provided in the description of this episode. And don't forget to tune in next Wednesday for our weekly dose of saints. God bless you.
Should you read it again with more intonation?
No.
It was very Mike.